2, 4, whatever.
Boys and girls, this is the Undisputed Era. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and you're listening to Going In Raw, baby.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
What's up, it's your girl, Sasha Banks, Legit Foster, and you're watching Going In Raw. You like that?
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Larson.
Yeah, welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, and available wherever podcasts can be found. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and the little notify bell next to it, because you'll get a little pop-up notification when we go live, like I just got right here. Thanks, YouTube. I appreciate you for doing that. Yeah, I think that's what it said. That's weird. Oh, yeah, there it is. Watch live now.
Cody Miles has a good point here. The botch isn't funny. The 24th day in a row you do it.
Well, Cody Miles, I'll tell you what. When you get your own podcast, you can run your own in-jokes into the ground. How about that? Yeah. You see that heel turn? He made me do it.
Wow.
He made me do it. We're going to get to the Seth Rollins heel turn in just a second. Before we do that, we're going to get to suspensions. However, before we do that, I want to give some shout-outs to some patrons.
Let's do shout-outs.
Because on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson, so we updated the Super Hummin' news yesterday, the controversy from the weekend. One thing we didn't talk about during the news show yesterday that I totally forgot about was Walter. They stole my title.
Oh, yeah.
Did they ever find the title? Do you know?
Not that I'm aware of.
I don't think they found the title.
They stole his title and his passport.
And his boots. He wrestled barefooted. Barefoot.
Because he had a match at a Evolve show that day, the next day.
And he wrestled barefoot.
Wow.
Yeah. Where are my shoes? How are your shoes? Are they comfy? I hope you like my shoes. Anyways, a lot of people saying that, oh, boy, don't steal Walter's title because you're going to get chopped. Probably doesn't work that way.
No, it probably doesn't work
I don't think that there's that. Maybe if this was in the 1400s, they'd do something weird like that.
You get a glove and slap you across the face with it and say, I demand satisfaction.
Right.
And then they'd have a duel.
Unfortunately, things don't work that way anymore. Anyways, we got some new patrons. Let's see here. Miguel Marinko, Bailey LeBlanc, Lee Elliott, Canada's Real Deal Neil Garby. That's a great name.
That's good.
I want to be a ring announcer and say that. Canada's Real Deal Neil Garby, Alex Lavoie, and Epic Boar.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. So yeah, let's real quick. So this just came across. Was this Fightful Select?
No, this is from Pro Wrestling Sheet.
Oh wow, Ryan Satin got a okay. So
yeah, so this is what they had to say. There have been two.
The satin sheet. Is that
No,
what it's called?
this isn't even on Backstage. I doubt they're. I'll be interested to see if they talk about it on Backstage tonight. Two superstars have been suspended.
Oh, two.
One, Primo. He's been working in Puerto Rico with his brother. He's in a huge feud with his brother down there. Or cousin. They're cousins, aren't they? They're not brothers. They're not brothers. They're cousins.
Probably cousins.
Cousins, sorry. Cousins.
When is he even around to drug test him?
I don't know. That's the weird part of it.
Right?
Like they drug testing him in Puerto Rico?
Number one, I honestly thought he wasn't even with the company anymore. And if he was, I thought it was like a honorary thing. I don't know.
He's working in Puerto Rico now. Anyway, but the more prominent name amongst them, Bob Roode.
Yeah.
30-day suspension. First violation wellness policy, and WWE on their corporate site, not on their actual WWE.com, but corporate.WWE.com, confirmed the suspensions. Just saying, WWE suspended Eddie Colon, that's Primo.
That's Primo.
And Robert Roode, each for 30 days, effective immediately for a first violation of the company's talent wellness policy. So no information about what they got popped for. But that's not good for Bob Roode. He and Dolph have been on TV as Baron Corbin's henchmen of late. Yeah, former tag team champions.
We had speculated that possibly is Robert Roode, who is under the ring, the ring apron there
with the wig on. Yeah,
right. Oh, they're probably.
I guess they can have someone under the ring with a wig on for 30 days now.
Oh, what a bummer!
What?
Adam Cole's out of frame.
Oh.
What a drag! I'll have to bring him down a little bit. I got him wire. He's like
you got a twist tie
attached to it. Yeah.
So that's a bummer to hear. But like Bob Roode hasn't exactly been the same since being called to main roster.
No,
he seems kind of cast adrift.
There are flashes of him being happy and satisfied with what he's doing. But by and large, he looks
tired.
He looks tired, and he looks like he's in pain. That schedule is something else, man. If you hop into that schedule, because I think he was 40 when he got called up to main. And I remember interviewing him. You and I both
He seemed
interviewed
tired,
him.
man.
He honestly, he was like the nicest guy. He was so nice. That dude looked like he wanted a teep. Mm-hmm. He said he really looked like he wanted a
He
teep.
was super tired because it was their day off. It was
Yeah.
Thursday, I think we did.
Yeah.
That's normally one of their
And-
days off, I think.
And I don't think he wanted. I don't think he didn't play video games.
Didn't seem like it.
Like I remember the first year we did one of those. Xavier, the New Day was there. Xavier and
Big E,
were
yeah.
there, and obviously Xavier's a big video game guy. Obviously, like when I went there last year to the Performance Center, like Adam Cole, of course, he's a big video game.
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned on Twitter the other day that he's looking to get into the streaming
I
business.
saw that in 2020, yeah.
Yeah, did you see the picture of him and Britt Baker, the dentist, at Disneyland?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, there's no irony there, by the way. It's all genuine love.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Disney,
Totally.
for the dentist, for everything,
For everything.
I think that dude's nothing but love.
Yeah, man.
Anyways,
He seems genuine.
he does.
He seemed like a very
dude,
genuine
seriously.
guy.
I am sad that you didn't get to look into the man's eyes, because it's like when he's in character, it's one thing. Cameras are rolling, but I went up to him afterwards and I had a private conversation where I got that selfie with him, and he looks in your eyes. You're like, this is the most I know you. You know, it's like I can see your soul and it's pure.
Yeah.
That's why he's the angel on top of our tree.
There you go. There you go.
Oh man. Anyways, we'll get into Raw in just a second. We got a couple super chats here. Dom
Yeah.
L says splitting up Andrade and Zelina would be the worst decision WWE would make since they split up Cesaro and Oksana. That was probably a good decision. This would be a terrible
This would
decision
be an absolutely terrible decision.
if they did that.
Quote the Raven, Waltman wasn't 6 because he's a 6th member of the NWO, but because he was 1, 2, 3 kid in WB, and if you add it up, it comes to 6. Hence 6. He was the 6th active.
Okay, can
member.
somebody find a link where it is actually confirmed why he was called 6? Because I feel like this is factually this is true that 1 + 2 + 3 I believe does equal 6.
1 + 2 + 1 + 1.
But is that the reason why he was called 6?
It probably has something to do with it.
I don't know.
I also saw something where it said, well, it was like he was a 1, 2, 3 kid in WB, but since WCW was twice as good, he's 6 here because 6 is double 3.
But yeah, I don't know. Wouldn't he be 2, 4, 6? The 2, 4, 6
Yeah,
kid?
2, 4, 6 kid. That'd make more sense.
DJ
or he'd be
Saints-
12.
DJ
If 1
Saints
+ 2 +
says-
3 equals 6, then he'd be 12.
Who's the next to be released and when?
Primo.
Primo, maybe. We'll find out more about that. Anyways, let's hop into Raw last night.
Yeah.
What did you think about the show overall? There was a lot of story developments, man.
There was
Stuff
story
actually
developments,
happened.
there was stuff happening. There were some good matches. There were some cringy segments, but, such is the case with most episodes of Raw. There was a lot of time to fill, so there could be some good and there could be some bad. Kicked off with some bad.
Oh my God, this was unwatchable. Like the divorce segment was unwatchable.
Here's the thing. You have Lana, who is trying way too hard for people to not like her.
Yeah, that I would assume. I'm assuming that's direction from Vince.
I would guess so, but all
all
the screaming and stuff.
I think all that is Vince saying people like the internet hates it. The general audience seems to love it based off of
More importantly, Vince, love the hell out of it.
yeah.
So go all out. So you have Lana like being overly earnest about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's giving her all plus 25. And you have Rusev walking there with a Donald Duck shirt on,
tucked into slacks.
realizing how ridiculous and stupid the whole thing is.
Yeah.
And going through the whole thing with like a full-on wink going on the entire time.
I think I don't know. I think that I agree with you. I think that him and Lana, and probably to a degree Bob Lashley, they all know completely and totally how bad this is.
Oh, it is. Rusev's the only one that's betraying that sense in his performance, however.
I think I'll be honest with you. I think Lana is too in her own way. The whole "don't yell at me" that stuff. I honestly think that her and Rusev are commiserating to figure out how bad they can make it. And he's doing one thing and she's doing another. I don't think that she's giving it like an actual serious go of making this into something. I think they are both clowning the crap out of it in their own way.
It's more obvious that Rusev's clowning it.
I mean, my thing is this: do you really think they're going to be on different pages with this? They're a married couple. They're like, you see them frolicking on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I know they're a married couple, and I'm sure they're given their certain direction. But I think Rusev just has a natural disposition. Because, like, even back with you go back as far as the Ziggler stuff, that was just kind of the same thing then, too.
Sure, yeah.
And that wasn't necessarily the case with Lana. She was more so playing it straight.
Yeah, maybe.
And he was always kind of operating on levels like, I know this is garbage.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hide the fact this is garbage. In fact, in my own way, I'm going to subtly make fun that this is garbage.
Yeah.
And it's based on how I perform. And that's the same vibe I'm getting from all this.
Yeah, no, me
Whereas,
too.
like, Lashley is definitely playing it more or less straight.
Yeah.
And I think you're right with maybe this is Lana's attempt to make things so over the top, to make it ridiculous, to make fun
Last
of it.
night, to me, it seemed especially so. Because of the, like, whenever she would go, like,
I just kind
she
of
would
felt like
just
that
do
was her attempt to get the crowd to boo her. And it was way too much.
Yeah, I don't
It's like,
know.
here, I'm going to be extra annoying tonight. Probably because Vince told
You know
me
the
so.
phrase, man, happy wife, happy life.
I guess so,
I don't
but-
think they're going to be on a different page on that one. It was really bad, though. That was, like, excruciatingly bad. What are the YouTube numbers on it? I didn't even check.
I don't know. It gets by... Yeah, the opening segment was bad. The only thing that kept it from being abysmally bad, like unwatchably bad, like worst segment of the year,
Was Rusev
with
in
Rusev's charm.
in a Donald
Duck shirt.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He was just charming enough to keep this from being worst segment of the year contender. Because otherwise, it was horrible. So Lana comes out, Lawler's in the ring. There's a table set up, a couple chairs. Lana's out
Yeah,
first.
dude, 1.2 million views.
I don't. It's
1.2 million views, and everything, like the next 3 Raw clips were around 150,000.
insane.
Kevin Owens, like one of the bigger segments. Kevin Owens with a pipe, 482,000.
And he laid into Mojo.
Seth Rollins joining AOP and beating down Kevin Owens got 529,000.
Wow.
His heel motivation promo thing, 376,000. But nothing. Oh wow. Rey Mysterio versus AJ Styles, 1.2 million. So
Title match.
There. I mean, so that tied the divorce stuff.
That's crazy.
At least there is a segment of audience that has some taste.
I guess so.
On YouTube.
So Lana comes out first, and King makes a point of saying that she's waived part of the restraining order. The part I don't remember the exact term he used. So essentially, Rusev was allowed to go in the ring to sign the papers.
Yeah.
And then Rusev comes out. Lana says to him, I used to love you, Rusev, when the WWE Universe didn't. Mm-hmm. His heel days, when she was really good on the mic.
Yeah, she was like, she used to call you. They used to call you fat. They used to call you, slow or whatever. But
yeah, I still loved you.
I still loved you.
And then Rusev says, "Well, I think I'm the one that needs protection. Here, watch last week's video. Not that was actual any sort of evidence about as far as how he needs protection. More like the police or whomever Lana and Bob Lashley hired as security needs protection."
Yeah.
Comes back. One of Lana's thing was like throughout this whole segment was, "Oh, you always make it about you, Rusev. You're so selfish."
Yeah.
And then she calls him a monster. Says no one will love him like she used to. And then Rusev says, "Well, I can barely stand you, so why would I want another woman like you?" And then again, Lana says, "You're so selfish," and then screams a ton.
Yeah.
And then Rusev about to sign. He says he wants one more thing, and she goes, "Oh, you probably want sex. You want to have sex before the red eye. You want to have sex before."
It's like 3 minutes of her listing off sexual things. Yeah.
And screaming it the entire time.
Yeah, exactly. See, at that point, I was like, they are both trying to. I'm not saying they're trying to tank it. I think that they are. I don't know. What's the word when you stop caring and you're just doing? You're like
apathy. But there's a way for them. The issue with it is if their goal was the same, their approaches were vastly different, and so it didn't feel like they were on the same page whatsoever.
You ever see Extras, the Gervais thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of cringe comedy.
You know how like it's like, man, the worse I make this, the better it does. Let's see how bad I can make it.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point people will clue into that it's terrible. Kind of feel like they're both doing that.
Yeah, I just feel like the approach
because that's what Vince wants you to be bad. He wants you to go overboard with it.
I understand that, but I just feel like Lana was going overboard.
Yeah.
And Rusev was just kind of winking to the camera.
He was going overboard with just how apathetic he came off.
But then he couldn't lose the smile on his face the whole time.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overboard to the same degree that Lana was. Anyway, I feel like we're spending way too much time talking about this whole segment because it was dreadful. Anyways, Lana calls Rusev a SOB. He tells her to shut up. Lana signs. Then that's when Rusev says, "I want something before I sign this. I want a match against Lashley." Lashley comes down the ring. He says Rusev thinks this is all a joke, and he's going to ask Lana to marry him after the divorce is final. Rusev says, "Fine." And then Rusev signs, says he wants to fight Lashley. And then Lashley slams Rusev's head to the table right as he finishes signing the paperwork. Lays him out ringside, tosses him back in the ring. Rusev comes to, hits a Machka kick, and then dumps Lashley through the table with a belly-to-belly suplex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So then later on, match was confirmed later on for TLC. Rusev versus Bob Lashley. Horrible segment, though. Hopefully they'll have their match at TLC, and this will be the end of it. But probably not.
Yeah.
Based on the YouTube numbers, it's probably going all the way to Mania.
As long as it's still bringing in the numbers, it's going to keep on going. You'd have to think. I mean, Vince isn't going to let this go.
No.
So I mean, I don't know. It is what it is. If it's bringing numbers, my thing about it is that like week to week, I'm either entertained by it or I'm not. I mean, like last week, the arrest stuff. I think I remember. Was I entertained?
I think it didn't offend you.
I think that there were some bits that were like, oh, that's kind of funny. There have been bits of it that I was like, oh, this is kind of funny. I don't think last week was one. Last week was just kind of perplexing. But like there have been moments of this that I'm fairly entertained, and you know, Rusev is always entertaining. I think Lana's trying something that she's not comfortable with, and so she's going overboard with it. And I think Lashley, I always like Lashley. I think the worst thing to have Lashley in is something that's boring. That's just, oh, I'm big brutish heel guy, or I'm big brutish babyface guy. I like when he has sort of goofier stuff. Not the Lashley sister stuff. That stuff was horrible.
That was horrible.
I mean, nothing. I'm sorry, but nothing that's happened during this Lana Rusev stuff has even come close to being as bad as the Lashley sister stuff.
No.
Not even close.
That's up for contender for worst segment ever.
It really is. That was horrible. So anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's sort of whatever. It took about 15 minutes of the time, so
yeah,
it is what it is. After that,
twice as much as necessary. Anyways, yeah, go ahead.
We had a Kevin Owens interview, and was it Charlie interviewing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he was like, it's pretty obvious why Authors of Pain attacked me, because Seth Rollins told them to, and he's going to go around looking for AOP. And so then the camera follows him from the interview, and he wanders through backstage. He runs into Rey Mysterio, who sort of torch passes his pipe to him.
Yeah, first he says, here, I'll offer some help to you.
Yeah.
And then Owens is like, no, you don't need to get involved with this. And Rey's like, no, I don't mean me. Here's my pipe.
He says, my homie.
Yeah.
And he gives him the pipe.
Gives him the steel pipe.
I loved it, man. Rey Mysterio right now could do no... It's funny because I wasn't really excited, like, necessarily when he came back to the company. Mm-hmm. I was like, he can still move really good. But character-wise, I've never really cared about Rey. This, like, older Rey,
I know,
who's, like, straying into Dr. Wagner territory, is, like, freaking great, man.
I know. He's got some rasp to his voice now.
He's got some rasp. He's, like, half the time he speaks in Spanish.
It's great.
And he's got a pipe.
All the promos he was doing for the Brock thing were outstanding.
All that stuff from, like, the loss of confidence stuff. Like, I'm even down with Dominic being around him, Mm-hmm. Dominic is cheesy as crap.
Yeah.
But I love it. I think it's great.
Dominic's down to take some bumps.
I know. I really like this Rey stuff, man. I think
it's been really good. It's been pretty solid.
You see what I'm saying with that U.S. title, though? It's all big, and it looks better when it's bigger.
It's not like AJ's a huge guy either.
No, but Rey is small. This thing looks vastly bigger on Rey than it does on anybody else.
Rey's probably 4 to 5 inches shorter than.
I know. That's what I'm saying. He's a small guy,
4.
So the title looks bigger.
I think AJ is about my height.
Just looks better. So anyways, so he gets the pipe, and Kevin Owens is actually very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
And then he keeps going. But before we continue, let's see here. There we go. Here's a word from the sponsor of today's show, Audible. Larson.
What?
It's that time of the year when everyone's out traveling or shopping for just the right gift for the most important people in their lives, like their podcast partner.
Okay. But why not give the gift of an Audible membership for the most important person in your life?
Your podcast partner.
Yourself.
Oh, yourself. That's right.
And now is the best time to do it with a special offer of 53% off your first 3 months.
Whoa, with Audible, you can access an unbeatable-like Roman Reigns level of unbeatable selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers motivation, mysteries, thrillers, memoirs, and more.
Yeah, you can choose 3 titles every month, 1 audiobook and 2 exclusive Audible originals like 64th Man with John Cena that you can't hear anywhere else. And Audible's got a great selection of pro wrestling themed books too, including Tim Hornbaker's Death of the Territories and Kane's new book.
Oh,
Mayor
nice.
Kane, narrated by Mayor Glenn Jacobs himself.
Oh, I love it. And with Audible, you can listen on any device, anytime, anywhere with the Audible app, whether you're commuting, pumping iron at the gym, or in the midst of your holiday travels. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. Give yourself the gift of listening with Audible.
That's right. Again, for a limited time, you can get 3 months of Audible for just $6.95 a month. That's more than half off the regular price. Choose 1 audiobook and 2 Audible originals absolutely free. Visit audible.com/goinginraw, that's all one word, or text Going In Raw, again, all one word, to 500-500.
And thanks to Audible for sponsoring today's show, and you're really helping out Going In Raw by going to audible.com/goinginraw or texting Going In Raw, all one word, to 500-500. All right, here we go. Moving on. Matt Hardy versus Drew McIntyre was next.
Yeah, Drew cut a promo beforehand, and wow.
Yeah.
He was saying it was essentially a bad idea for Matt Hardy to procreate given some of his life decisions.
Yeah, pretty much. But he said it with such a charming look on his face that it took some of the stank off that. But if you dove deep into what he actually said, that was pretty messed up, man.
It was really messed up.
Yeah.
And then he does a promo, we go to commercial, we come back, and Matt Hardy actually put forth a competitive effort. It wasn't a squash match, although in the end that finish was pretty cool. Yeah. Matt Hardy goes for backslide. Drew reverses it into Future Shock DDT, hits devastating Claymore for the win.
Drew is great, man.
He is great.
When he hit that Future Shock and he just sort of sat there and stared at what he had done, I love it. It's so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, for draft results, I think I'm only down 7 points now.
Uh-oh. Whoa. Ayo. I think you're doing some weird math over there.
Man, it's just
right
all this thing.
I know. It's because they got all my guys in locked up in stories where they don't really fight that much. And then your guys are fighting a bunch.
I know.
So that kind of sucks. But because who has Aleister Black?
You do.
Nice. All right. Well, I got that going for me.
Mm-hmm.
Who has Buddy Murphy?
Nobody.
Oh, ooh. I have to pick him up. Anyways, yeah. So Matt Hardy got destroyed.
Next, Charlotte's in the locker room. She walks up to Becky. She's writing in a journal or something.
Yeah. She had her little journal.
Yeah.
I don't know what else that would have been.
And then Charlotte goes up to Becky and says, I don't like you. But we both got issues with Asuka and Kairi. Let's partner up and challenge them for the tag team titles. And Becky's essentially like, no, I want to fight them all myself. I don't like you either. In fact, I'm going to do that. Charlotte goes, you're going to challenge both of them tonight? Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, okay, great.
Did you watch any more Succession last night?
No, I was watching Raw.
Because it was 3 hours long, huh?
Yeah. By the time it's over, it's 10 o'clock.
It's 2 in the morning.
I thought, I used to just wait till 8 to start the whole thing. And then I was like, that's foolishness.
Well, yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll watch the East Coast feed from, 7:15 to 8. So I watched the end first.
Oh, my
It's
gosh.
like I'm watching Sunset Boulevard. I know how the whole movie ends, but now I got to see the process of how I get there.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Taking a very,
It's like a
what's
Raw episode as directed by Quentin Tarantino.
right. You like watching the limey version of Raw.
Yeah. Yeah.
That movie is mixed up all to hell.
Yeah, it's tough to decipher
Maybe
the
too much.
timeline there.
I swear it's like he just took all the scenes and tossed them up in the air and let them fall where they may.
It could be.
Yeah. Soderbergh is crazy like that, though, man.
Yep.
But boy, The Nick, I got to go back and rewatch
It's a
it.
good show.
This is all we are.
This is all we are. Next, Kevin Owens backstage. He's looking for AOP. He runs across Mojo. He asks Mojo, have you seen AOP? And Mojo goes, yeah, I think they went that way. No, actually, I think they went this way. Nah, they went this way. And starts pointing in both
So
directions.
it's like he came off like the freaking Cheshire Cat. He was like a Alice in Wonderland character. Oh, he came out that way, and then it's like his eyes go down here.
Yeah, I know.
Like his everything but his eyes disappear.
Like he fades into the background, turns invisible.
Anyways, that led to Kevin Owens slapping the taste out of his
Yeah,
mouth.
pretty much.
That was great. He says, "Well, now you're right there."
Yeah, and then walks away. It actually got that line. Actually got a good pop from the crowd too.
Yeah, it did. Kevin, man, I'm telling you, Kevin Owens just walking around backstage with a pipe. I could watch that all day long.
Yeah, man.
I mean, seriously, like they're kind of they're figuring out, and they're never going to get there because Vince is in his mid-70s. But like Kevin Owens could be the modern day Stone Cold. He could totally be that big. I think he could be.
Yeah.
But and you get little flashes of it here and there.
I know. Next, War Raiders come out and drop a promo. This actually made me laugh. They spent weeks looking for where the opponents, they say. They've been wrestling jobbers the whole time. Try harder, War Raiders. Gosh. So they found no one, so they issue an open challenge. Outwalk Street Profits. Not a good week for the Street Profits.
Well, glass half empty, glass half full. They got a match and an elongated segment.
Well, they got a match where they lost. It's like they haven't really had a whole lot of matches.
True.
And then they lose.
Yeah,
clean.
but it was a good effort.
It was a fun effort, and then I even in chat here, there were some people that said they really liked their
Twitter
SNL
was
stuff. I thought that was just cringe.
I thought that was
the writing was so bad.
The jokes weren't great, but Angelo Dawkins, I could give or take Montez Ford like on the mic as a promo guy. I think he's really good in the ring. I'm still not a big fan of like all the I don't know. The theatrical stuff he does. I just think it's not believable. Angelo Dawkins, I think he's terrific, and I thought he was really good in the weekend, the Monday after weekend update thing or whatever.
The writing
was
just so bad.
Yeah, I mean, not all the jokes hit.
So I think Montez's thing, the over the top delivery, works with the right material. Because like in NXT, I thought it was more or less really good. But them having essentially having the role of hyping up shows.
Yeah.
It just doesn't fit.
This would have worked if the jokes were funny.
It might have worked better if the jokes were funny.
Here's the thing. Subjectively speaking, like we might not have been a fan of it. Tons of people were talking about this.
I know.
So I'm not going to crap on it too much.
Anyways, Street Profits come out.
I actually chuckled when he said, "Yeah, Disney Plus fans." I thought that was funny. Because he kind of looks like he's stoned half the time.
Yeah. Street Profits come out to answer challenge. We come back from commercial. Street Profits actually have the upper hand. Montez hits a frog splash on Ray Rowe. Hanson's in to break it up. Street Profits set up for their finish, that Doomsday blockbuster. Ray Rowe escapes it. Hanson's in. He has a cartwheel off with Montez.
And then he's found his gimmick with the Ultimate Warrior rope thing.
And then he turns around, eats a heel kick. That gets a 2 count for Hanson. Eventually, Ford gets the hot tag to Dawkins, and that exploder suplex he did to Hanson was damn impressive, man.
Yeah.
That was something else. Anyways, War Raiders pick up the win. Viking experience. They're in the ring. They bash forearms. Great sign of sportsmanship. Seth comes down, interrupts their commiseration. He says, "Hey, I got some business to take care of. Y'all are welcome to stay if you want. To take part in this," and they all leave.
Yeah, they all take off.
No one's be around Seth.
Man, we should have mentioned this too, but Samoa Joe was just a treasure.
Oh yeah, man.
Again on commentary, and there was one moment later on during the Andrade Humberto match, which was terrific.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Where King started to say something that sounded like it was going to be a shitty comment about Zelina Vega in the old school King way. And Joe immediately cut him off and said, "Let's not question the professionalism of Zelina Vega." I thought that was so good. If they have him out there in one role to check Jerry Lawler, I'm all about it. And then when he coined the phrase "sunset flip wall bomb,"
that was
good.
Good.
My God, that killed me. I thought that was great. Joe was so good last night.
Yeah, he was good,
and
man.
he's only been doing it on Raw for like 2 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. Yeah.
This is his third week.
Yeah.
So Seth continues the promo. He calls out AOP, and he says, "I want to prove that I'm not in league with them." Instead, Kevin Owens comes out. Owens says, "I know AOP isn't here because I couldn't find them, and they're not that smart to hide from me."
Yeah.
And asks Seth where they're at. Seth again says, "I had nothing to do with AOP." You cut backstage. There's AOP pulling up in like an A-Team type van. And Owens threatens to beat up Seth with the pipe. Because he knows eventually it's going to be a 3-on-1 beatdown anyways. Seth leaves the ring. He says, "I know this isn't going to be a popular decision, but I'm just going to leave. Prove there's no association between me and AOP."
Yeah.
So he leaves. Owens calls out AOP. They show up on the Titantron, talk some crap. And then Sami Zayn comes out to the ramp with Mojo Rawley. And
He's got a managerial license, so he's allowed to cross brands.
Yeah, you know he's on SmackDown.
Yeah, well, he addressed the situation. I'm fine with
Yeah,
like
that's fine, I guess. And then he goes to Kevin and is like, I'm no manager. I'm a liberator, I think is what he said. Sammy says, Owens, what you did to Mojo is out of line, but I'm willing to help guide you. I know that. I've seen that look in your eyes before. But you have to apologize to Mojo first. And then Mojo, bad move Mojo, grabs the mic and says, hey, look at Sammy when he's talking to you. Don't disrespect Sammy like you disrespected me. Mm-hmm. And so Sammy's like, no, you don't want to do that.
Yeah, you're not helping your case.
I know what's going to happen when he has that look in his eyes. And Mojo says, well, I'm supposed to be scared of Owens because he has a pipe in his hand. Anybody looks tough with the pipe in their hand. And Owens says, oh, yeah? Tosses the pipe to Mojo.
It's a really smooth stunner,
Stuns
too.
him.
Mojo did a really good job on
Yeah.
that. Because it's like half the people on the roster don't know how to sell a stunner.
It's the timing of it.
Yeah. But Mojo did it really well.
Yeah. And then he lays in the Mojo with
Oh
that
my
pipe.
God! And then did you see the pictures afterwards?
A bunch of welts on Mojo's back.
Instagram or Twitter.
on
Mojo,
Twitter, I saw it, yeah.
Mojo showed off his bare back.
Covered in welts.
His bare back. Yeah, he just covered in welts. Anyways, after that we had Aleister Black versus Akira Tozawa. This is actually a really fun match.
Man, Akira Tozawa was great.
Like when you can have a match where you know who's gonna win. But it's still like wildly entertaining, and Akira Tozawa will always do that because he never wins matches, but he can make them really entertaining. So, anyways,
as announced that Aleister will take on Buddy Murphy at TLC, so that's cool.
Yeah,
Buddy had a promo. He just said, "I think I'm better than Aleister, so I feel pretty good about winning.
that's good.
I'm knocking his door all day long because I'm better."
Good enough for a match.
Finish of this particular match, and it was a lot of fun. Tozawa goes for a suicide dive instead, eats a V trigger. And then Aleister tosses Tozawa back in the ring, hits Black Mass for the win.
Yeah, that was good stuff.
But it was really fun. Tozawa, yeah, he hasn't won anything on main roster yet, but every one of his matches so far have been an absolute blast. to watch.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
He's
I
really
hope-
good.
I hope he's like rewarded with wins or something.
I hope so.
Before we continue, real quick, I want to give a shout out to our like button. We have 663 people watching right now, man. I want everybody.
Everybody just hit that like button.
Just hit that like button one
Smash
time.
it. Just smash it.
You don't have to smash it.
Smash it odd number of times.
Caress it gently, as long as it just hits. It just activates the like aspect of it. It's too good. Just too good. Us man.
Smashing is a mid level
Look,
of
this is a too good.
It
right?
is.
So
Smash-
too good me for the like. There you
Smashing is indicative of enthusiasm level. I want people to be enthusiastic.
go. Yeah, me too. But also, I don't want them to hurt whatever device they're on. How do you? If you're watching this on like the TV screen, like on a smart device, how do you? Is there
Sure
a
there's a
thing
way,
to
man. I
hit
don't
the
know.
like button. I don't
Sure
know how
there's
to do
a
it.
way.
Anyways,
Sure
hit
there's a
that
way.
like button, man.
Smash it.
Smash it.
Odd number of times. Anyways, next we had Charlie said, I have an interview. Before that, Humberto Carrillo. So we get a video package. Mm-hmm. And then
Set to his new music. Yeah, which I'm a fan of. I think it's good. It's not quite Dolly Gas, but I think it might get there.
you see, he has a shirt that says Dolly.
And he's got a shirt that says Dolly Gas
on it.
Yeah.
So they're about to start the interview, and then Humberto says, "Oh, but ladies first." And so the camera pans over, and into frame comes Zelina Vega and Andrade, and Andrade is like immediately all up in his face,
Yeah.
and they were saying "Esta noche,"
Yeah, tonight.
Yeah,
and then
so,
Selena says, tonight?
So they got a match tonight.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't really know what else. I was trying to pay attention to what Andrade was saying, but maybe if one of our Spanish-speaking friends
See what the exact nature of his beef was.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I heard him say the word lucha, of course.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he just has a general issue with people who consider themselves luchador wrestlers as opposed to whatever Andrade thinks he is.
Yeah. Next, a Liv Morgan video package, the makeover of Liv Morgan. I think it was dubbed.
Yeah. So she's not going to be Sister Abigail.
No.
So that's good. Didn't really want that anymore.
Yeah, I really didn't want that either.
But I wonder how long these are they going to do like these for like 8 weeks of she's coming.
It's gonna be
soon.
a new
She's
Emelina
coming.
thing. I hope not.
I hope not. Also, anyways, after that, boy,
This is a fun match, man.
Andrade versus Humberto Carrillo. This was terrific.
Mm-hmm.
This was absolutely terrific. This is so much fun.
Andrade started out fast. He was in control for actually a good stretch of it. Carrillo starts to come back after a top rope crossbody, then hits that moonsault off the ring post to ringside. That was beautiful.
It's so beautiful.
Come back from commercial. Carrillo still has upper hand until Andrade. There's this great bit where Andrade is like they're both on the top rope. He does like a double leg takedown essentially of Carrillo, puts him like right in the tree of woe, right into the double stomp.
Yeah.
Del Rio style.
That was beautiful.
Um,
Del Rio style.
Gets a 2 count.
The bit where Carrillo came running at Andrade when Andrade was in the corner, and he was trying to flip him over, and Carrillo just landed on the ropes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
So good. Carrillo does hit an Aztec press. Andrade does, though, kick out.
And Joe did a really good job because he didn't. And I don't know if this is on purpose or not. I mean, I'm sure he has the body control able to do this, but like it wasn't the cleanest.
Yeah.
And he didn't really hit a lot of it.
Yeah, Joe mentioned he
And
did
Joe,
all of it.
was able to motivate the 2 count because typically for a lot of opponents he'd get a 3 count.
Yeah. Carrillo avoids Andrade's moonsault. Andrade lands on his feet, hits the double knees, goes for it again. Carrillo reverses it, and then Andrade pushes Carrillo towards the ropes. Carrillo puts on the brake because Vega at that point is on the apron. Andrade charges towards Carrillo. Carrillo gets out of the way. Andrade knocks Zelina off the apron, and then Humberto rolls up Andrade for the win. Pretty surprising.
Yeah, it was pretty shocking. I mean, I know there was the report, again, from the Wrestling Observer himself a couple weeks ago or a month ago or whatever, saying that Humberto was going to get the Cedric Alexander treatment. Thankfully, that seems for now anyways not to be correct. I'm sure Andrade's probably going to come out of this on top. But to give Humberto a pretty clean victory, I thought that was awesome. That was great.
And so Andrade and Zelina are arguing in the ring after the match ends.
Do not break these two up.
No.
They cannot break them up.
No. After that, Rey Mysterio promo. Just good stuff.
Yeah. He was talking about AJ Styles, U.S. title. He says, even if you beat me tonight, just know I'm going to give you my all. It was just really strong babyface stuff.
Yeah. After that, Owen's still backstage, still looking for AOP, and there's a production guy that Owens asks, have you seen him? And he goes, yeah, they went that way. So off he goes in that direction. Next, Zack Ryder versus Buddy Murphy. We get a short Aleister Black picture-in-picture promo.
Seemingly from right after his match.
Yeah, he was a little bit winded
he was
still.
All sweaty and gassed.
And then he said, you make you regret knocking on my door, essentially. Buddy Murphy picked up the win here. Saw him ringside. He decks Kurt Hawkins. He turns around. Zack Ryder hits him with a wrecking ball drop kick through the ropes. He tosses Buddy back in the ring, but rather than following up, Zack checks on his friend, his tag team partner, his podcast co-host.
Yeah.
And he turns back around.
His toy buddy.
Yeah, gets back in the ring. V-trigger.
Boom.
Murphy's Law. Buddy gets the W.
Buddy's offense is so beautiful.
I know. I hope they give him and Aleister 20 minutes. They won't, but I hope they do.
Be cool if they did. Be cooler if they did.
Man.
After that, we had Owens still backstage and he finds AOP's van, so he takes the pipe to it.
Breaks some windows.
Breaks the side mirror.
And he goes around to the back, and he won't open, so he takes the pipe to the hinge, or the door handle, opens it.
Sees there's a guy in, like, I don't know what the purpose. So, what's the purpose of that seat that Seth
I
was
don't
in?
know, but it reminds me of you watch, like, some sort of heist movie.
Yeah, right?
And then whoever is, like, the figurehead or coordinating the heist, they seem to be sitting in the back of the van by themselves while they're flanked by everybody else who's involved in it.
Oh, so I was gonna say something else. To me, this came off like a heist movie, but kind of a ridiculous one, like maybe a Fast and Furious type thing.
Yeah.
Where the back doors open up, and then there's a chair that swivels, and he's got a Gatling
machine gun.
Yeah, or a
there's
machine gun
that
of some
too.
sort.
Yeah. But anyways, there's like a little seat that apparently had a swivel on it. So Owen sees this figure, which from a granted, I was watching
poor bastard in production got the order to find a van with a swivel chair in it.
I don't know.
Are those like
easy to come by?
Right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
So anyways, Owen sees this figure, which I was watching my laptop, and I was like, what the hell is he doing? I just see the chair because it's white and it pops.
Right.
And I don't really notice the figure there at first. So he tries to grab said figure.
Yeah.
He's attacked from behind by AOP.
Yeah.
And they beat the hell out of him. You go back to the van, chair swivels around. There's a dude with a hoodie on.
Yeah.
The hood is removed. It's Seth Rollins.
With super evil.
It's super cheesy.
I loved it because it's professional wrestling, and just like it was me, Austin, cheesy sometimes is just what's needed for the moment.
The cheese didn't necessarily bother me. I just think the presentation, from a production standpoint, wasn't terribly dramatic.
Well, you had the camera angle that was a little lower than he is. You got it was a
just
standard
like
villain
the reveal.
shot.
He turns around, takes the hoodie off. Oh, it's Seth. Okay. Like, if that had happened in front of a crowd, I think the response would have been greater. It would have felt heavier, more weighty.
Well, yeah, you're not gonna have a van out there in front of a crowd, though.
No, but I mean just in terms of
Look, man,
blocking it.
Okay, fine. You figure out how to get a cool van with a swivel chair, because the swivel chair is number one priority.
No, it's not.
It really is.
It's not.
It was cheesy, and I loved it. I thought it was great. The only thing that I thought was going to happen, I thought he was going to stick his freaking fist out.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to form like weird new evil shield.
New shield.
That'd have been rad. Somebody, I forget who on my Twitter feed, said, hey, how cool would it have been if everybody thought it was going to be Seth, but it was like Roman?
Yeah.
I'm like, that would have made no sense, but holy crap, that'd have been dramatic.
That'd have been dramatic. See, there's drama there. So we exit.
Well, that's part of it, though, isn't it? Is part of it is you knew who it was going to be.
Yeah, no.
You knew it was going to be Seth.
So he exits, and then he says to Owens, he says, it's a shame, and it has to end up this way.
Mm-hmm.
And then curb stomps him on the concrete. Mm-hmm. Go to commercial, come back. Seth comes down the ring. He drops a really good promo, and his justification, assuming you can take him at his word, is pretty solid. Essentially, he gave the audience everything he had, and yet they're still not happy. They still boo him. They still talk trash. He went out there. He beat Lesnar twice. He says, I never take a day off. I always give it my all. I've done everything the right way. I've done everything for you, and yet you still disrespect me, and I'm tired of it.
And he said this was a self-fulfilling prophecy because you guys kept on driving me to this, and your fiction became reality.
Yeah.
And didn't he say something like, even when they showed up tonight, I wasn't going to do this, which is kind of interesting. Then you start diving. I hope that maybe Boom Studios will write a comic book behind this latest heel turn, because how did AOP then get the production people to cut to their car during the middle of Seth Rollins' Kevin Owens segment? Like, was AOP like recruiting him?
I don't know.
Like, were they just milling about until he came around and made this realization 10 minutes
earlier? It could just be coincidental that they happened to arrive, and there's a cameraman back there for anybody who happened to arrive during the course of the show.
Yeah. Like, after he left Kevin Owens, did he just seek out AOP and was like, hey, like, you guys want to do this or not? I mean, obviously you want some piece of me, so let's do this. I will be your leader.
Yeah.
You could be new Shield.
Yeah.
Just no fist.
Well, I like that while, like, this is seemingly, I don't know if you call it necessarily Seth's lowest point, but while he's kind of searching for a new identity, he falls back on where he's most comfortable in a trio, leading a trio, essentially.
Sure, yeah. And they did a really good job. So, yeah, the promo was really good, and the motivation made total sense. I really liked that, in my, I'd love to think that Seth started acting like a prick on Twitter in advance, 5 months, 6 months in advance of a heel turn to set it up. That'd be awesome. I know that's not the case because they don't do anything 6 months in advance. But you do have to appreciate if the Seth Rollins babyface run was really working well and, the Twitter stuff wasn't a problem at all.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have done this.
No.
I think they ran with this because with Seth, they know that, hey, we can do things on the fly with him. For whatever reason, Vince was always so hesitant, so resistant to do that with Roman.
Oh, I know.
And I wonder, I mean, you can say, okay, I know why. It's because he really wants Roman to be the guy, and Seth is not at the level where he knows that Seth is going to be John Cena. He probably just sees Seth and Roman as two different types.
Yeah.
And he could be more flexible with Seth.
Could be.
In any event, I'm really happy that they rolled with this because I didn't want another year of them trying to ram a dude down our throat when the crowd obviously isn't into it.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, this is going to get Seth way more over than continuing on that path.
I know. I mean, just the promo, you can tell that he felt freer. Mm-hmm. Like, we haven't seen that level of intensity and genuineness from Seth in a long time.
Yeah, he likes it. He likes doing this stuff.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah, I think he'd much rather be a heel, I would suspect. Anyways, after the promo, quick shot of Owens being put in the back of an ambulance. They didn't formally announce a match between Kevin Owens and Seth at TLC, but I wouldn't be surprised if it were to happen.
Yeah.
Next, this is really fun. Becky Lynch taking on Asuka and Kairi Sane. This is a really fun match.
This was a really fun match.
Come back from commercial. Becky's at the top rope. Asuka with a distraction. Kairi tosses her off. She goes for an inside elbow. Becky avoids. Asuka tags herself in. Misses a missile drop kick. Becky drops her the Bexploder. Follows the leg drop. Misses. Asuka locks in Asuka lock. Becky powers out. Pushes Asuka into the corner. But Asuka... Then she puts Asuka in Asuka lock. and then Kyrie pulls her and Becky out of the ring. This is just all one sequence.
Yeah, it was
really pretty
fun.
insane.
They've got amazing chemistry.
Kyrie puts Asuka back in the ring, tries to toss Becky into the barricade. Becky reverses, sends Kyrie into the barricade, trips Asuka off the apron, goes for a forearm off apron. Asuka drops her with the knee instead. There's a lot of really good back and forth. Becky struggles to get back in the ring because Kyrie's holding her leg. She eventually does, beats the 10 count. Asuka nails her immediately with a Shining Wizard, gets a 2. Asuka and Kyrie hit a Doomsday Forearm, gets a 2. Kyrie goes for Insane Elbow. Becky gets her feet up, so kicks Kyrie in the arm, goes for a disarmer. Asuka's in, picks up Becky. Becky hits her with the Uranagi, so Becky puts the disarmer back on Kyrie. Asuka manages to pull Kyrie out of the ring, and then Asuka goes and grabs a chair, hits Becky with it. Becky wins by DQ, and then Asuka and Kyrie set up a table. They put Becky on it. Kyrie goes to the top, Insane Elbow through the table.
Yeah, that table was gimmick to hell because it literally just like split in half perfectly, and then there was like that giant shard of metal table sticking up. I was like, oh my god,
Wow.
I always get the feeling that with wrestling, people are like so close to just getting impaled.
It's a dangerous profession,
When
man.
Seth was under, like it was a Hell in a Cell or something.
No, it was
like
a
that.
normal cage
Just a
match
regular
with a
cage match.
giant spike coming down right on him. Yeah, I remember that.
Oh man.
Next, OC promo. AJ's talking about how Gallows and Anderson are going to end up beating the War Raiders, and then they're going to celebrate with the new U.S. champ AJ because he's beating Ray tonight.
Yeah.
And then AJ says, "Don't you get involved, Randy Orton. I'll end your.
Randy Orton.
I'll send you home."
Man, I watched Table for Three last night. Now that we're talking about AJ Styles, it was AJ Styles, Jeff Jarrett, and Sting talking about TNA. It was flipping great, man.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny because the entire Jeff Jarrett was no, you never saw AJ eat, you never saw Sting eat the entire time. Jeff Jarrett. But I swear this did more to put Jeff Jarrett over to me. Because, like, in the recent years since the AAA, like, I've really become a Jeff Jarrett fan. Like,
Yeah.
in retrospect now, I kind of appreciate the guy. And I honestly had no idea. I'm sure it's out there. But that dude was responsible and cheerleading all the good stuff about TNA, like the X Division. His dad hated it. A lot of people didn't want anything to do with the X Division. He was the guy saying, they need to be the people that are featured.
Yeah.
Trying to build a strong women's division as opposed to just sort of the divas thing. Like with Awesome Kong, he was like really trying to spotlight her. It was just really interesting. Like Jeff Jarrett came off as somebody who, like, man, I'd love to hear more about this guy. You know, or like more stories.
I mean,
from
I always
him.
thought he had a pretty good mind for the business.
Oh yeah, sure.
I just didn't ever
yeah.
want to see him wrestle.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, but like to hear him talk, it's like, wow, that dude actually brought a lot to the table, business wise, and creatively speaking. You know.
Yeah. Next, we get Becky in the trainer's room. Charlotte comes in, says, "Hey, how you doing?" And Becky says, "Fine." And she says, "Really good match out there." And then she leaves. Asuka and Kyrie attack her from behind and hit her with a chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was good stuff. After that, we had Eric Rowan versus. Well, hold on. Why did I not see that? Did I walk away for a second?
That was about how long it lasted.
Oh my gosh!
Against NWO CM Punk.
Okay, the next thing I saw was Charlotte and Becky in the trainer's room.
Yeah, you missed a couple segments. This guy looked like CM Punk in the Ring of Honor days, kind of,
That's hilarious.
but with some Val Venus trunks.
Okay, interesting.
But
I got something in my head.
Instead of purple and black, they were red and black. With the
Okay.
same kind of general
All right, so
pattern on it.
Wolfpack, NWO, Val Venus, CM Punk. Got it.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So NWO CM Punk grabs the cage off the ring steps, runs up the ramp, drops it, and then keeps sprinting, runs around through the audience, back in the ring, and tells the refs to stop counting because Rowan's chasing them to go after the cage. So Rowan's there checking on whatever's in the cage and realizes the ref is counting. He sprints back down to the ring, just beats the 10 count, and then immediately drops NWO CM Punk with a fun splash, followed with an iron claw, then another. Ref stops the match.
Oh, wow.
Rowan hits another.
Oh my god, that sounds wildly entertaining. Actually,
It was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
seeing
I'll check it out.
this local enhancement talent.
I'll watch it after our Raw review.
There you go. The next, Asuka and Kyrie have an interview. At verse, they speak exclusively in Japanese, and then Charlie Caruso says, "I'm like, all right, I guess I have to learn some Japanese now, but can you please translate until I do?" Essentially, what she said.
She needs to invest. Are there like translation apps on the iPhone or
Uh-huh.
something? She needs to get a couple of those because every other interview, she doesn't know what anybody's saying.
I think she actually said, I need to start learning more languages or something.
That's funny.
Because referencing, like
Yeah,
the Andrade,
AOP,
the Andrade
Andrade.
Creo thing. Yeah, it's like actually having your interview have some interviewer having some personality.
I know.
It was actually pretty
This
good.
is the days of Mean Gene when we used to bully people around.
Exactly.
Hey, you
Stop
can't
smoking.
do that.
Yeah, no. And so they say, okay, we challenge Becky and Charlotte to challenge us for the women tag titles. Mm-hmm. And we go to see Charlotte and Becky in the trainer's room. And then they're like, Charlotte's like, so you want to do this? And Becky's like, yeah, sure.
And then she says we got to up the odds.
TLC,
Tables, ladders,
chairs.
chairs.
So it's a TLC match. That'll be great.
Yeah. I like that. That was really good stuff. And yeah, this is going to be a killer match. I hope nobody gets hurt
I know.
because they're going to go all out.
Next, Street Profits, the Monday after weekend update. Didn't work for me.
They hyped TLC.
It's pretty much the extent of what they did. And they mentioned hurting from their match against War Raiders. Maybe that's part of it. If they didn't have the match against War Raiders earlier tonight, I wouldn't have minded so much, even though the writing still wasn't good.
Oh, I would have been mad because I just want to see them in action. If you give them something else to do, that's fine, whatever.
But here's the thing: like, you just lost a tag title opportunity. Like, that should bum you out a little bit.
Yeah.
Instead of having a passing reference to being kind of sore,
Yeah.
you should be upset because at a certain point you had that match won.
Yeah.
You should be a little more upset about it.
Yeah. Well, they're young. They just got there. They know they have lots of time. Yeah. They're good. They're good. I don't tell you. I thought there were some funny bits to it. I'll be honest with you. After the Disney Plus thing, I sort of chuckled, and then Montez started talking a bunch, and I was like, "Oh, this is what it's going to be," and I just muted it. So I'll be honest with you. A couple of the first couple jokes didn't land. Angelo Dawkins said something funny, and then I muted it. So I don't know.
It didn't work.
If it doesn't grab you, I'm not going to sit there and suffer.
Yeah, no, I mean, I watched the whole thing and just didn't do anything for me.
We had AJ Styles versus Rey Mysterio for the main event,
Solid match.
which was rad, and this match was great, and it featured Sunset Flip Wall Bomb.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this was so much fun.
It was fun. So Ray has the upper hand. Gallows and Anderson come down to ringside. They kind of distract Ray. AJ takes advantage, sends him in the ring post. And then, later on, Ray sends AJ from the ring, follows with that sunset flip powerbomb into the barricade.
Wall Bomb.
Wall bomb. They both beat the 10 count. Ray has the upper hand. He goes for a destroyer, and he's up in, like, this position, pre-powerbomb position. And it's one of the few times I've actually seen anybody do, like, the reverse powerbomb and make it look like it really hurt.
Yeah, sure.
Because
yeah.
AJ tossed him to the mat.
Yeah.
So AJ sent to the ropes. Ray goes for a 619. Luke Gallows covers AJ.
This was awesome.
He
it
took
was so
the 619,
creative.
I know.
Yeah.
And then Anderson gets on the apron. Ray kicks him off. He gets back in the ring. AJ hits him with an Ushigoroshi. That gets him a 2 count. The finish saw AJ go up top. Ray follows. He goes for Rana. AJ blocks. I think that was supposed to turn right into a Styles Clash.
It was. Yeah.
However,
because I was looking at my clock, because when this botch happened,
it
because
was like it was like 2 till.
they just sort of tumbled down a little bit.
And anyways, they recovered pretty well. They get up. AJ hits a nasty power bomb, picks up Ray. Styles clash. He's about to go for the pin. Randy comes in and just stares at him, gives him a wink.
Gets back out of the ring.
Gets back out of the ring, and Ray rolls up AJ to get the victory and retain the U.S. title.
Yeah, but the copyright or the trademark bug came on.
Yeah.
Like
During the roll up.
During the roll up. Yeah.
And as soon as that roll up happened, they cut to a KFC commercial.
You know what? I'll be honest. That the final 5 shots were all about a quarter of a second each, but it was in perfect succession. So you got the entire story of the reactions because the roll up happened, and you're like, oh my god, they're going to go out like in 3 seconds. And you got Randy, AJ, Ray, ref, and it was like perfect. The TV direction on that,
bang,
given
bang,
there
bang.
was like literally 2 seconds left,
Yeah.
was actually so perfect.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
So yeah.
Let's do some questions, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, you forgot to mention Lana got death threats for this.
I don't really forget to mention that. I heard it isn't really. People get death threats all the time these days for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it really
I've
should-
had death threats before.
You shouldn't really ever come to
Just
a
a
death
wrestling
threat.
podcaster.
Quote,
Well, the internet's so stupid.
yeah,
you know?
people take things way too seriously. Just be cool, people.
I'm looking at my thumbnail. I love my new thumbnail. This is going to be our podcast thumbs from now on.
Okay. Quoth the Raven 79. So since Lana and Rusev keep mentioning Rusev Day, what are the odds that Aiden English reuniting with Rusev at TLC? Probably none.
Oh, yeah, none, but I'd love it. I think
Yeah.
it'd be great. Here's the thing. I would love for Aiden English to come back to Rusev Day, and he does his own version of Checked Out. The way Rusev is doing it, and the way I think Lana's doing it, the way Bobby Lashley does it. I want to see what Aiden English looks like checked
All right.
out.
Neely Bobber. I meant to have it say real deal Neil Garby.
No, it did. There were some extra ones in there. I
There
was
you
just
go.
in a rush. Cody Miles here in the Discord says the source is Spotlight on Sean Waltman, the wrestler / Inside Wrestling, Kappa Publications, June 2007.
Oh, is this for the name stuff?
He was called 6 because he was the 6th wrestling member of the NWO, and
both
6
things.
is the sum of numbers. How can it be both things?
It's serendipitous, man.
What came first? That's the reason why.
Nick C., my friendo club order arrived. Too good, me brothers.
Too good, me.
DKC returns. You guys should check out the Austin Aries interview with Chris Van Vliet. One of the best shoot interviews in years.
I'll check it out, but I sort of take everything Austin Aries says with a grain of salt. Saint Butts. If the goal is to get Rusev over as a face, and it seems like it's working, is the story really all that garbage? Look, I am not interested in the story. I don't think that means that I don't think that there's entertainment value to it. Obviously, there is if 1.2 million people watched the clip from last night. It's just not really up my alley.
Storyline cannot be great, but achieve the goals it's set out to do. I don't think they're mutually exclusive things.
Yeah, and there's that also. But I mean, if people are finding entertaining enough to watch it, then that's fine. But it's just it's not my thing, and I don't think
Yeah,
it's your
it's
thing.
definitely
either,
not my
so.
thing. Vincent Milage just got done with finals today. Your reviews kept me from dying of stress from studying. Keep the good work, dudes.
Oh wow,
Thank you, Vincent.
That's good.
We got a new member, but
Yeah.
I don't know who it is because message retracted.
Or is that the name? No, that's not the
No,
name.
I guess they signed up to be a member and then quickly withdrew.
Did they withdraw their membership?
I don't know. Quoth the Raven, so are Seth and AOP to be deemed sword?
Oh, I like that.
That'd be cool.
That's cool. That's a really good one, actually.
Sword.
Quote the Raven.
Oh.
Good job.
Listen to the new episode of the New Day podcast. They go through the list of names.
Oh, I saw a clip of it
That's
the other
pretty
day.
funny.
The Amen.
Yeah, they were dying during that.
There's a yeah, and Big E. Jesus, praise you.
I was listening to it at the gym yesterday, and there were several times that I started laughing.
Oh yeah, it was funny.
Because I don't normally do that. Very
Yeah,
often on the
when
podcast.
Xavier was super cracking up over Amen. The Amen. He said, I forgot about that one. That was good stuff. I got to listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Arma says, does anyone aside from Dom care about Liv Morgan? Has she been gone too long for fans to care? I think she has enough talent to make people care that she's coming back.
Assuming the new gimmick's good.
Yeah.
Joey Marichik, thank you. Quoth the Raven, how long do you think the women's division will be dominated by the horsewomen? Which non-horsewomen roster members would you pick to hold the belts? It's going to be for a while.
The belts is in the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships or the tag titles?
I'm
assuming
assuming
the
the
Raw-
singles,
the singles
titles, yes.
I'd love Asuka to hold one of those singles titles.
I think she will at some point.
I'd love Kairi Sane to hold one of those singles
Whenever
titles.
Ember Moon returns from her Achilles injury.
It'll be interesting to see if they ever spotlight her enough. Like she's a terrific wrestler. She is just an absolutely terrific wrestler. She's so likable. Mm-hmm. Like if they can't figure out how to get that over, I don't know what they're doing.
I know.
But then I mean, you look at there's actually any number of people in the women's division who are terrific wrestlers.
I know.
And really really good on the mic too, or really relatable.
I know,
or whatever.
I know.
So I don't know.
Fear and Loathing, who on Raw was Manscaped's smooth gnat of the week?
The smooth gnat of the week. Well, you got to say Humberto for pulling off the smooth moves to
There you
beat
go.
Andrade.
Pick up that W.
Yeah.
Nowhereville, just had my third baby girl at hospital now. Congratulations.
You know when Humberto is AJ Styles' age, it's going to be like 2040. I know. Isn't that weird to think?
crazy.
When he's AJ Styles' age, and he's probably still going at it, he's probably a multiple-time Universal Champion, WWE Champion, assuming he stays with the company, we're going to be 60.
I know.
That's up, man.
Be retired.
That's so messed up.
Fear and Loathing. What 2020 feuds would you like to see? He thinks
be dead.
Viking Raiders could be. Viking Raiders versus AOP would be pretty awesome. That would be cool. Viking Raiders versus AOP. Give me Kevin Owens versus Brock Lesnar for that WWE title. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, where the hell's Brock?
He's looking at his land. Where do you think he is?
Looking at his land. Cody Miles. How obvious is it that at TLC, Lana's going to turn on Bobby to do part 2 of the feud to Mania? I don't think it's that obvious.
No, I don't think it's that obvious.
I mean, if they want, the storyline's already really stupid. They can continue to insult our intelligences by doing that, our collective intelligence. But I don't know. I don't think it's all that obvious.
Nowhereville says, love the show. Thank you very much.
Let's see here. FC Champ Snake Sosa. I felt the weekend update with Street Profits sucked the fun out of them, and the whole segment was lost on me as I'm in Ireland where SNL isn't a thing. Here's the thing, a lot of people clown SNL, but it's actually really funny these days.
It can be, yeah.
Like,
Usually Weekend Update is one of the highlights of the show.
These days, yeah, like they've really found, like over the past 2 years or so, it's funny because it always takes a while for the new Weekend Update to people to kick into gear, but they're really good now.
Patrick Sparks in chat says here, Big E was also joking about turning on the New Day during the show. It was actually pretty funny. There's one name, I can't remember what it was.
Big E was
The Cause. There's one of the potential names was The Cause.
Yeah.
And he says, yeah, when I turn on you, I'm gonna form a new group and it'll be called The Cause. And then Xavier Woods says, but the funny thing is there won't be any other members. It's pretty great. Fear and Loathing Table for 3 featuring Jake Roberts, Randy Orton, and Larson. I don't get the theme there. I don't understand the theme there. I'm not a wrestler.
Oh, no, there's definitely a theme there. They're all snakes.
I'm not a snake.
You're the most snake person
I'm not
I
a
know.
snake.
It's weird that I'm like best friends with a snake, but
I'm not a snake.
That's how it lands sometimes. Jimmy Thomas, which happens first? We find out what's in Rowan's cage or the end of the Rusev Lashley story? I think it's going to be the end of the Rusev Lashley.
Yeah.
I don't think. Do you think we're ever going to find out what's in the cage? In a way, I'll put it this way: in a non-hornswoggle way.
No.
Me neither.
I think they don't know what's in the cage.
They don't know, and it's going to be a big goof.
Yep.
Because they're never going to figure out how to do it sensibly.
Or effectively.
Greg Morris says it was probably Larson sending Steve death threats. He's a snake. That's not really what snakes don't do that. Snakes are defensive creatures.
However, whoever
turn
was
on
sending
you.
you death threats, I would turn them into the proper authorities.
I appreciate that. Too good, me brother. There you go. But they're not your friend, so it's okay. That's not really being
Even
a
if they
snake.
were.
You're getting what?
I said even if they were.
If it was Hilton, you would.
I think it'd be more justified.
You might do that anyways, even if it isn't Hilton.
Yeah.
That's the one time I'm okay with you being a snake if it's against Hilton. Let's see here. Oh, this is good. Okay. Therathabata. If you two got divorced.
If we two got divorced?
Well, I'm assuming he means from our respective wives.
Okay.
We are not, contrary to popular belief, we are not actually married to each other. If you two got divorced, which wrestlers would you choose to represent you? Neither of you could afford David Otunga. And who gets the kids? Adam Mayhem and Cal Jack. Maybe he does mean if we actually got divorced.
Oh.
Who would I choose to represent myself?
I'd choose Xavier Woods. I know he's not a lawyer, but he does have a PhD. He's a really bright dude. He's a great talker.
Yeah.
So I think he would best represent my interests in a sort of legal proceedings.
All right. I'm going to go with Adam Cole because he would look at the judge with his pure eyes. There's nothing but soul in them. And give an earnest speech as to why I should get the kids and all that stuff. Why Cal should stay with me. You just take Adam Mayhem. I don't care about that.
Fear and Loathing says the Ascension were in the cage.
That'd be weird. Let's see here. This is a good question. Callum McInnes, what are some of the biggest misconceptions in wrestling? He says, for me, it's that lots of people, mostly Americans, think that World of Sport was a wrestling promotion when it was actually a sports results show that would air the big matches of the time. The promotion was actually called Joint Promotions, and functioned essentially as the British NWA.
Interesting.
That is interesting. I didn't know that. I figured World of Sport was a promotion. Isn't it a promotion now, though?
Yeah.
I
Or
think
they were
it's a
trying to make it a
promotion
promotion
now.
now.
I don't know. What's the biggest misconception do you think there is about wrestling? I mean, there's the obvious one that, like, it's fake, you know.
Yeah. I think the people assume since it's choreographed that it doesn't hurt.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Jake Mountford, do you think this feud between Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins and AOP could go the distance, maybe to Mania?
It's entirely possible.
I think it's definitely possible.
I think that, yeah. I mean, as much as I want to see Owens Brock at Mania and have Owens take that title off him, in terms of the story I think they want to tell with Owens, it might be too soon.
And besides, Brock's got to defend the title against Tyson Fury.
Or Cain Velasquez.
I'd be better with that one, but they need to get Kane, they need to do more like videos with Kane and you know, some promos.
Well, they need to figure out if he has to have knee surgery or not.
Yeah. Maybe you can have a cool swivel chair in a van. Let's see here.
Patrick Sparks says Hogan wasn't a heel. That's a big misconception.
Hogan, what's that?
That Hogan was a face the whole time.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's the one that you got to work on your essay for.
That's a lot of watching.
You know, you say that to because
It's intimidating.
it's really not, dude. Just break it down. Do. All you got to do is just break it down. Take the biggest moments from Hogan's career and start from there.
But I feel like it's just as much as the huge moments, just the little ones too, where it's subtle.
All you got to do is write down 6 matches. Write down 6 matches, start there. And then you can fill in some
I could
details.
think of at least one promo he delivered that I can start with.
Oh, dear. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Let's see here. Oh, yeah, this is a thing. Logan says, from the angle Becky was at in the doctor's room, couldn't she have seen or at least heard the Kabuki Warriors jumping Charlotte?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I thought that she was going to come out and help out.
I
Because
thought
it's
that too.
literally around the corner.
Yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Maybe over Christmas, we're going to work a much lighter schedule. Maybe I'll start doing some research on it.
Because I think it's a really good idea, and I think you think it's more of a task than it really is. Let's see here. Next week, James Rodriguez, botched ending aside, do you think the Seth reveal should have closed the show and saved his explanation for the start of next week?
I actually kind of
That's not a terrible idea.
I kind of feel like I thought about that, something like this, watching it, and I kind of wish they'd save the turn for TLC. Like Owens challenged AOP to a handicap match or something like that because he wants to get his hands on him and then have the turn happen there.
Yeah. I was fine. Look, I'm never gonna complain if they move stuff along quick. That being said, yeah, that would have been fine as well, I think.
Jonathan Thon says, not sure if it's your camera, I'm going blind, but the screen is getting blurry here and there. Is the
Really?
autofocus get turned
Is it
on?
on autofocus?
But even then, we're not really wildly doing this, I wouldn't
Yeah,
think.
I don't know.
Anyways,
I could take a look at it. I could take a look at it right now because we're leaving. Anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in. We do have an overrun coming up for Friendos, $5 and up. Not sure what we're going to talk about today. Are you caught up on The Mandalorian? Mm-mm. Okay, well, so be it. We'll talk about something fun. Thanks so much for watching. We appreciate it. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Goodbye.